Okay, we're going to try out an equation with a half-angle identity. I mean, this is screaming at us to simplify it with a half-angle identity. I mean, there's not many other ways we can go about dealing with cosine of x over 2, whether or not that's even being squared. I mean, we got something divided by 2. If we're trying to simplify it, the half-angle identity is what we want to try. So I'm going to leave this sine squared by itself, at least for right now. And I've got 2, and I'm replacing this cosine squared of x over 2 with my identity, which is plus or minus the square root of 1 plus cosine x over 2. Okay, so now we want to start simplifying this. Notice we've got stuff we're taking the square root of, but it's being squared. Well, the square root and squared cancel each other out. This is sine squared of x equals 2 times 1 plus cosine of x over 2. I know you see that. I know that makes sense. Of course, these 2's now cancel out. Look what we're at. Sine squared x equals 1 plus cosine of x. Such a better looking situation, all right? Now, sine squared x, we know we can change that to be in terms of cosines. That would be 1 minus cosine squared equals 1 plus cosine x. We want to solve it for cosine. So I'm going to move everything over to this side, I believe. I'm going to subtract the 1. This gives us 0 equals cosine squared x plus cosine x. That's 0 equals cosine of x times cosine of x plus 1. 0 product property. When does cosine of x equal 0? Pi over 2. 3 pi over 2. When does cosine of x plus 1 equal 0? Well, that would be at pi. So we have those values, we have that value right there. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Yeah. Never hurts to go back and check things in the beginning of the problem. Sine of pi is 0, so this whole side is 0, and we plug it in over here. Pi over 2, cosine of pi over 2 is 0, and 0 squared is all that just becomes 0 equals 0. So that looks good. Cosine squared, okay, so sine squared of pi over 2 would be 1. For both of these, the sine squared is going to be 1. So we want to make sure they come out to be 1 over here. And of course, when we square whatever we get, whether it's positive or negative, it's going to come out to be positive. Times 2 is going to give us 1. So that's going to work out. So all these work. We have done an equation with a half-angle identity.